BRAC EPL for organizing this event today. Perhaps at a time when the country is at a crossroad, politically, economically, and otherwise. And bringing such a large delegation from Japan, and Japanese friends are here. I welcome all our friends from Japan. Arigatou gozaimasu. I don't know whether I have pronounced it right or not, but that's the best I can do. You have heard so much from the previous speakers about the capital market and future of capital market in Bangladesh and how investors should find Bangladesh in the future economic perspective. One thing I can assure you right now, in Bangladesh, not just the politicians, people across the board, the uppermost on their mind is the economy of the country. And Bangladesh economy is not going to be beginning. We have had a fairly good beginning post-liberation. 1972, 73, 74 onward, particularly, the country transformed from command economy to market economy, one-party system to multi-party democracy. A lot of political reforms and economic reforms that saw Bangladesh over the years, as some previous speakers mentioned, 6% growth rate on average. And Japanese have had a footprint, very strong footprint in Bangladesh. So they are not coming here for the first time. They have well invested in Bangladesh, starting from the large industries to infrastructure. And Japan has been the largest bilateral donor for Bangladesh. I think still is. So when we left the government last, the growth rate was 7.06%. And the curve was looking like this, upward. Of course, it was disrupted over the last decade and a half. And then the mass uprising. But the economy, resilience is so good. Bangladesh withstood all this and still carrying on after so many upheavals, turbulences, recovery, turn around very fast. The reason is one. The reason is Bangladesh's economic foundation is very strong. Because we have been able to make some reforms bearing in mind market to operate freely. And that brought in a lot of private sector investment from within and from outside. Bangladesh is the first country in this whole of South Asia to set up economic zones, export processing zones. Bangladesh is the first in South Asia to go for free market economy and private sector-led growth. So the emphasis was on the private sector. And they are the only ones who can drive the economy. This was the fate in economic planners of Bangladesh. And that has paid dividend. And private sector came up in large numbers. Example is Bangladesh ready-made garments, textiles, leather sector, seafood sector, and many others. And the reform policies of deregulating also paid dividend. Through that, Bangladesh economy not had done fairly well, fared quite well, but the social sector has done very well. Bangladesh's social indicator is about the best in South Asia today. I repeat, Bangladesh's social indicators are the best in South Asia. Because it reflects that how the economy also had taken care of people in general. Poverty alleviation, women's empowerment, and all the rest of it have done very, very well in Bangladesh. And this is why the foundation of this economy is so strong and withstood all this turbulence that Bangladesh has gone through. So that gives us the confidence that with the new government, democratic order back in the country, everybody's on their uppermost on their mind how the economy is going to do. Believe me, we are all focused on economy right now. And for economy, capital market is inevitable. I agree. The capital market should have done a lot better as much as the economy had done in the past. That has not been fully achieved. So the gap the capital market could have fulfilled supporting the economy has not happened as much as it was expected. As a result, there was heavy borrowing from the high street banks. And there's a mismatch. Clearly, the high street banks' deposits are basically mostly on short-term basis. And capital market lending is short-term, long-term basis. So there's a huge mismatch of financial order, and that cost us dearly in our financial sector. So the now focus, because it's very relevant to today's discussion, now the focus is on our capital market. Where do we go from here? And this huge gap of financing, where does the capital market come in? And this is a very interesting scenario. This is where we all come into the new playbook for our economic development. Unless we develop capital market, we really cannot come out of this financial issue that we have had recently. Of course, that happened through an economy of patronization, oligarchy, and all that. That didn't help. Now, we have to address very seriously how we go ahead with our capital market. And I'm so glad that our friends have come at a time when we are planning big. I think our friend from Japan mentioned that Bangladesh needed turbochargers, you know. I can assure you, I think turbocharger is going to be in place in Bangladesh. It is going to be in place. And we are fully committed, going forward, how to address the issues of capital market. Because we didn't have enough blue chips companies coming into the market. We didn't have institutional investors coming in the way that they should have done. We did have a lot of retail investors, of course. And of course, all the frontier funds and the emerging funds was coming, but somehow wasn't enough to build up the depth of the capital market. Unfortunately, as I said, the GDP market cap ratio, we are one of the lowest, unfortunately. Although this is surprising how the economy has done well, 6% growth rate, 7.06 when we left the government, that did not reflect in the capital market. And that should have happened, quite honestly. Now this is the time that we are addressing it. We need to create a depth in the market. We need good companies to come into the market. We need institutional investors, retail investors, of course. Oh, okay. I've been requested to speak in Bengali because the press is complaining. I'll come to that, okay. I'll do that at the end of it. So we need to have a lot of, we need to create a sovereign fund. We need to create corporate funds. We need to have green funds. And this is all people have been talking, and because what brings me to this subject, I'm getting lot of fund managers coming to Bangladesh right now. And they're all, even the mission chiefs in Dhaka are talking about the funds, you know, the bonds and equities. We need to, the equity is on its, Bangladesh has had another problem, by the way, that over the last decade and a half, we saw a lot of the economic dependency really happened with debt and printing money. So you can imagine when you go for such option for printing money in the debt-based economy, so it's not sustainable. Now we have to move from the debt-based economy and printing money into investment-based economy. And this is where you come in, my friends. I think we are ready for sovereign bonds, we are ready for corporate bonds, green bonds, and all other portfolios or products that capital market needs in Bangladesh. Because the gap, as I mentioned, is very big right now. Between the high state borrowing and the capital market, what should have happened? This is where you all come in. Bangladesh is going to, we are ready for a boom, I can tell you this. But in order that to happen, this mismatch we have to come out of, and we have to fill in with the proper portfolios in the economy. And for that, there is a political consensus, as you have heard the speakers. As for my party was founded purely on the value of democracy, and free market economy. And we have been patronizing the private sector-led growth right from the beginning. Our motto is the private sector-led growth, and that is sustainable. And I can promise you for capital market in the future, the next government, whoever comes, but if we come, we will fully own the capital market. Absolutely. No question about it. And any reforms that should be done will be done. Any reforms. We are going to be highly deregulated economy. We are going to the trading post, welcome, open, 24/7. This is the environment Bangladesh is going to have in the future. And we're fully committed to this. I'm saying it day in, day out, the same thing over and over and over again. Just to drill through everybody's head, including politicians and the rest of the stakeholders, to own it and go forward. I can assure you, this is the Bangladesh we are waiting for. A boom is coming, turbocharger is in place. So our Japanese friends, I can assure you, we will be with you all the way. And Japanese have a good footprint in Bangladesh as it is. We have worked with them together bilaterally, and all the private sector that came, they have all done well in Bangladesh. So I learned with this for the press, I have to say a few words in Bengali. Excuse me for that. বাংলাদেশ এখন ইকোনমিকে উচ্চ পর্যায়ে নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য প্রস্তুত। বাংলাদেশ এখন বিনিয়োগকারীদের দেশে বিদেশে সব বিনিয়োগকারীদের সাথে নিয়ে আগামী দিনের বাংলাদেশের জনগণের যে আকাঙ্ক্ষা, যে প্রত্যাশা জেগেছে সেটা পূরণ করার জন্য প্রস্তুত। এবং ইতিমধ্যে নির্বাচনের খবর দেশে বিদেশে সব জায়গায় চলে গিয়েছে। সবাই নির্বাচনের অপেক্ষায় ছিল। যেহেতু নির্বাচনের খবর ছড়িয়ে পড়েছে, দেশের মধ্যে উদ্যোক্তারা প্রস্তুতি নিচ্ছে, দেশের বাইরে উদ্যোক্তারা প্রচুর প্রস্তুতি নিচ্ছে, যার ফল আজকে আমরা এখানে দেখতে পাচ্ছি। আজকে বিশাল একটা ডেলিগেশন জাপান থেকে আসছে বাংলাদেশে বিনিয়োগ করার উদ্দেশ্যে। সুতরাং আগামী বাংলাদেশে বিনিয়োগের মাধ্যমে আমরা ওই টাকা ছাপানোর থেকে, ঋণ নেওয়ার থেকে বাংলাদেশের অর্থনীতিকে বিনিয়োগের দিকে নিয়ে যাব আগামী দিনে। এবং বিনিয়োগ হচ্ছে একমাত্র আনসার। বিনিয়োগের বাইরে দিয়ে অন্য কোনো উপায়ে অর্থনীতিকে সাস্টেইনেবল টেকসই করা যাবে না। এবং আমরা সকলে মিলে সেই কাজটা করতে যাচ্ছি, সেই প্রস্তুতি নিচ্ছি আগামী দিনের বাংলাদেশের জন্য। দেশি বিনিয়োগ, বিদেশি বিনিয়োগ এবং ক্যাপিটাল মার্কেটকে আমাদেরকে উচ্চ পর্যায়ে নিয়ে যেতে হবে। কারণ ক্যাপিটাল মার্কেট ব্যতীত আসলে লং টার্ম ফাইন্যান্সিং সম্ভব নয়। এখানে আমি একটু যোগ দিতে চাই, সরি আই এম স্পিকিং ইন ইংলিশ। লট অফ because there was absence of strong capital market, you see everybody, every penny, every dollar, every taka was coming out government exchequer. Government is not supposed to carry, government is not supposed to spend all the money. The capital market is there to fund it. Like the autonomous bodies in Bangladesh, they must operate like an enterprise, like the Biman. They must operate like an enterprise. Why should the government exchequer fund for purchasing demand? They can go to the capital market. The municipalities, there are municipal bonds function everywhere. Why can't we float the municipal bonds? Municipalities are profitable enterprises. There are so many profitable enterprises which can be funded by the bonds, municipal bonds. Like that, government exchequer should not be overloaded with all this expenditure. They should all go to the capital market. So if we can do that, you'll find that there will be enough for the social sector, for the upliftment of our poverty and our infrastructure investment and other areas. So the economic structure has to change. We cannot function with the old economic structure. Like we have, Bangladesh has great potential with artisans. You know, Bangladesh have artisans all around the country. And their product is never monetized. We like to monetize their products. We like to give them technical support, the designing, with the input they need, with branding, with selling platforms like Amazon and Alibaba. One village, one product is not an invention. It's happening all over the world. People are working from home, selling direct through Alibaba and through Amazon. আমাদের দেশের এই সম্ভাবনা গ্রামে গঞ্জে যারা আছে তাদেরকে সবাইকে তার জায়গায় ইকোনমিতে ইনভলভ করতে হবে। তাদের প্রোডাক্টগুলোকে আমরা ব্র্যান্ড করতে হবে, টেকনিক্যাল সাপোর্ট দিতে হবে, অর্থনৈতিক সমর্থন দিতে হবে, এবং এইগুলো সারা বিশ্বে সরাসরি এক্সপোর্ট হচ্ছে এখন। ওই ঢাকাতে আসতে হবে না, চিটাগাংয়ে যেতে হবে না তো। You don't have to come to big cities anymore. Things have changed. People are working from home. There is a less of migration, pressure on big cities. বড় বড় শহরের উপর চাপ কমে যাবে। So this is another aspect of economy we are looking at. We have named it creative economy. This creative economy will embrace a large section of Bangladeshis who have been left out of the economic activities in the past. They will all be taken into the economic activities. They will all be participants. So, as I said, Bangladesh is ready for the boom. Turbocharger is in place. Let's go forward. Thank you.